Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So I'm on the training pitch and today I've got a full ball mastery training session for you. And if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of ball mastery. It's such a simple but effective way to increase our confidence on the ball and improve our tight space ball control with all the different surface areas of both feet. So today's session includes 5 drills. As you can see, I've set up all 5 drills at once. I'm going to go from one drill to the next. But if you don't have the space or the equipment that I have, you can set up each drill individually and then set up the next drill when it's time to move on. So you don't need cones. If you don't have cones, you can use any other objects like socks, water bottles, anything you have lying around the house. And you don't need much room. Even though I've set up all these drills, each drill individually doesn't require much room whatsoever, so you can set up these drills pretty much wherever you have a little bit of room. So today's session is all about getting touches and increasing our confidence on the ball, and you don't need much of a warm-up because these drills are going to warm you up as you go. So let's get right into it. So getting straight into the first station here, I've just got one cone. If you don't have a cone, you can use a sock, a water bottle, and we're just working on basic ball mastery. So I'm doing 5 exercises in total, and for each exercise, I'm doing 20 repetitions so that I'm getting 10 on each foot. So the first exercise here, just dragging it back with the sole, then going from one side of the body to the other with the inside of both feet, pushing it forward on that third touch, and then repeating in the opposite direction. Once you get warm, try and keep your head up as often as possible. We're trying to build that awareness while we have the ball at our feet, because we want to process if there's a player we can pass to or if there's another opponent coming in. We want to be processing as much information as possible. So as you can see, I'm trying to lift my head up as often as possible. You can keep your peripheral vision on the ball so you can look in between the ball and what's in front of you, but try and keep your head up if you can. So this next one here is just working on 2 types of V-cut, going from one foot to the next. Then after 10 repetitions, I'm swapping feet, and the goal was to try and swap without stopping or making a mistake. Then I went into the third exercise here, just working on a basic step over. As you can see, that inside touch after I drag it back is really soft, which is actually quite difficult, especially when your legs are getting tired, because usually your touches get heavier and you build up a lot of lactic acid when you perform these ball mastery exercises. So really work on softening that touch, and then you can throw the same foot around the ball, push it with the outside of the opposite foot, and then forwards, so you can repeat on both sides. Between each of these exercises, I'm resting for about 20 to 30 seconds or so that I can attack each one with good quality, but making sure we're trying to keep our head up as often as possible. I can't stress that enough. You don't want to be looking down at the ball completely. You're going to miss what's going on around you. You're going to miss the opportunity to pass to your teammate. And something I like to do that you can try out for yourselves is I like to identify things in my surroundings while I'm doing ball mastery. So if there's a tree in the distance, if there's someone walking their dog, I'm just processing that information, because it's making sure I'm keeping my head up and actually being aware of what's around me. It's one thing to keep your head up, but it's another to actually look around and see what's going on. And this is going to be more match realistic, because not only do you want to keep your head up, but while you've got your head up, you want to see where your teammates are. Is there an opponent in front of you? So you want to be processing as much information as possible. So going into the last drill here, working on some sole rolls and some inside of the foot. So as you can see, between all 5 of these exercises, I'm getting touches with all the different surface areas of both feet. So this is a great way to warm up your ball mastery, get those touches sharp before moving into something more dynamic. So for each of these exercises, I'm just doing 20 reps with about 30 seconds rest in between each one. Then I'm going into the second station here, and I'm just working with the orange cones. So just the straight line of cones here, working on some dynamic ball mastery through, and then rotating sideways and doing a similar pattern on the way back. So just working on different angles, using different surface areas of the foot. On the way through, when I'm facing forward, it's mainly the inside and outside of both feet. Then when I'm going laterally, I'm using the soles as well to keep close control. Then as I go through a third time, I'm just performing a little move at that final cone, and that's where I rest for about 30 seconds. So this is a great progression from the first station when we were pretty much just staying on the spot and manipulating the ball. Now we're adding a little bit of movement to make it more dynamic. It's going to be more difficult to keep your head up, but really try to process your surroundings while you're going through, even when you're on the move, and really focus on using all the different surface areas of both feet. It's really going to help you in those tight space situations if you have control with all the different areas of your feet. So as you can see here, there's a pattern I'm using. I'm going inside, inside, outside on the way through, and I make sure I'm doing it in different directions both sides to get an equal amount of touches on both feet. And when I'm coming through on the side, I'm rolling it across and dragging it back with the opposite foot. So there's a lot of exchanging of feet as well, so take some coordination. And at the end just perform a 1v1 move and accelerate away. Then after 3 repetitions of that exercise with 30 seconds rest in between each one, I went into the third station. So this time we're using the red cones on either side of the orange cones as well. So we're going to the middle, then we're going out to either side, keeping full control of that ball, weaving in and out of each cone, but we're facing forward the entire time. So we're having to use a combination of the inside and soles of both feet, keeping close control, trying not to touch those cones, and a little bit of awareness to realize when we're getting into the middle and where we need to go next with the ball. So making sure once we get in the middle, we go out to either side, trying to be quick, but also clean with our touches. Don't sacrifice control for speed. Make sure you go through slowly. And once you gain confidence with it, then increase your speed. Control is the key with these exercises. So I went through this variation twice, as you can see, facing forward the entire time. But for this drill, we're actually doing 4 repetitions, but we're changing up every 2 reps. So for the final 2 reps, as you'll see, when I get into the middle, I'm actually turning with the ball. So actually working on rotating with the ball, and now I'm incorporating the outside of both feet as well. So you can really get touches with all the different surface areas of both feet just using this exercise, and we're being really dynamic and tight with those touches. You can adjust the distance between the cones if you want to make it more challenging. I just put a step in between each cone. That's typical for me. I think that's a great distance to work on manipulating that ball through tight gaps, but you can still move fairly quickly through the exercises as well. So I went through this exercise twice, once again, using this variation where I'm turning at the middle cone. As you can see, I changed direction at the middle cone with each repetition as well. So on the first rep, I turned to the right at that middle cone, and on the second, I turned to the left. But once again, getting a good variety of touches with the inside and outside of both feet, and then you have to be tight with the ball around the corners as well. There's only very small gaps to manipulate the ball through, so it really does test your control, and because you're going for about 30 to 40 seconds, you're going to build up a lot of lactic acid. Then after station 3 was complete, I went into station 4. So as you can see, I've placed a few gates, and now we're working on our accuracy of touches. So you get 2 touches to get between each gate, and there's 3 varieties of footwork pattern that I'm going with. So the first pattern is a la croquette movement. So it's 1 touch to take it to the side, and the second touch takes it forward through the gate. And then I've got 2 touches to get to the next gate, and so on and so forth. So not only working on that close control, but the accuracy of our touches as well. And as you can see, I've placed cones at either end just to work on a little 1v1 move as I exit the gate as well. So the second exercise, I'm just using the sole to roll it across. So roll it across with 1 foot, then push it forward with the inside of the opposite foot. These are really effective tight space dribbling moves that you can use just to manipulate around defenders' feet, keeping full control of that ball. And I went through each one twice. So there and back is 1 repetition. I went through each move twice. So moving into the final move here, just working on a little body feint. So I throw a feint to the side, then with the opposite foot to the direction that I was faking, I use the outside of the foot to push it across, then the inside of that same foot to push it through the gate. So even with this move, only allowed 2 touches to get between each of the gates, so you need to make sure you're efficient, sharp, and accurate with those touches. Then when you escape through the final gate, you're just performing a quick 1v1 move just to work on that quick feet once again, trying to keep full control of that ball throughout this drill. Then after about 30 seconds of rest, I went into the final station, so just working in this square. Each cone is 3 steps apart, and I'm performing a different turn on each side of the square. So on the first side, I'm just performing these inside hooks, so it's a soft touch with the inside of the foot, then you're pushing the ball across with the outside of the opposite foot. Then after 10 repetitions, so 5 on each foot, you go straight into the middle of the square, and it's 15 seconds of freestyle ball mastery. So just trying to get as many touches as possible, using all the different surface areas of the foot, changing direction as often as possible, trying to cover as much of the square as possible. Then after 15 seconds, you have a 30-second rest. Then I went to the next side of the square, and now I'm performing these outside hooks. So it's a soft touch across the body with the inside of the foot. Then with the outside of that same foot, you're stopping the ball with the outside. Then once again, 10 repetitions, 5 on each foot. Then you're back in the middle for another 15 seconds of freestyle ball mastery. Just being instinctive with it, so whatever move comes to mind, just perform it in the moment. Don't try to plan ahead. You're trying to build up that lactic acid in the legs, but trying to keep those feet moving as quickly as possible while they're tired. Then on the third side of the square, just perform these sole turns. So I'm just dragging the ball across my body with the sole of the foot. Once again, 5 on each foot, then straight into the middle for another 15 seconds of ball mastery freestyle, keeping that ball under full control without letting it leave the square, and just trying to get as many touches as possible. Then on the final side of the square, I perform these mini Cruyffs, so it's just a hook with the inside of the foot behind your standing leg, then you're pushing it with the outside of the opposite foot across. Once again, we're doing 10 repetitions, getting 5 reps on each side, so we're getting a good balance. Then we go into the square for a final 15 seconds of ball mastery freestyle. With this, try and go as quickly as possible, but don't sacrifice control for speed. Make sure you got the control down first, then gain speed as you increase your confidence with it. And that's the session complete. Alright guys, so that's the session complete. As you can see, getting thousands of touches in a short period of time. That session was only 40 minutes long, but we got so many touches with all the different surface areas of both feet, really manipulating that ball in tight spaces. So if you do this kind of work often, you're just going to increase your confidence on the ball. You're going to feel so much more confident and comfortable when you're in those tight space situations, getting out of trouble and having accurate touches with the ball to get past defenders' feet. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. Give that one a go. Let me know in the comment section how you found it. And if you want to check out more ball mastery sessions on the channel, I'll put a link to it on the screen right now. I've got a whole playlist with free exercises, and also I've got my very own 7-day ball mastery training programs, Maestro and Maestro 2.0. Both of those are available on my website. Day 1 is also for free in both of those programs on my YouTube channel, but if you want the full 7-day programs, I'm going to put links to those in the description box below. But I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you did, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.